Welcome everyone. Today is Friday, May 10th here in New Zealand, but for many of you it will be Thursday, May the 9th. This is the fortnightly SIG etcd triage meeting. My name is James, I'm an etcd maintainer, and we have a shared Google Doc that should be coming through, which anyone that is subscribed to the etcd dev mailing list will be able to edit and add items too. So I'll just put a link to that in our chat as well. There we go. All right, let's dive into it. So during the triage meeting, we just go through PRs and issues and try and look for things that we can tidy up and clean up and just organize things where we can, and sometimes review some good first issues to assign out to new contributors. So we'll start off looking at the Kubernetes PRs. There's a few I just wanted to talk through. Cool, and this one is just been merged a matter of hours ago. And just wanted to give some awareness. Team, we've enabled a couple new plugins for Prow for etcd. The first is the owners labels, and the second is verify owners. So quick heads up what this will do. Once we add a few more configuration files to the etcd repository, this is going to automatically label PRs and potentially assign PRs when they're raised. So it depends on the owners files in the etcd main repo, and we need to add some nested owners files. So there is an open issue for that here, and we'll have a bit more work to do coming up shortly to actually add those owners files. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye on that. The next PR we actually need some more review on, and it's a pretty important one, team. So thanks to Suan for raising this Kubernetes enhancement proposal for feature gates in etcd. We've got some discussion that's underway in there, but it's a pretty important feature. So if you have some time, please have a read through this PR and let us know, any suggestions, any feedback you have, so that we can get this new approach for managing features into etcd and in the best shape possible. The last PR for today that I had on the list was one that we need to follow up on. Let's have a quick look. Cool, so this is for the Kubernetes website. It's been around since late last year, so it's been around for almost 6 months now. And we just need to follow it up because I don't think it's had an update since February. And I actually had a look through the changes. It's a tiny change, and it looks absolutely good to me. I just didn't have time to actually go through and comment on things yesterday. If there's someone on the call that has time, please have a look through the change, just double check it, and if you can give it an LGTM on behalf of the etcd project and try and nudge it forward, that'd be much appreciated. Is there someone that has some time to have a quick look at this change?
I can take a look.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. Yeah, it's a pretty simple one. It looks pretty straightforward, and it lines up with our documentation. So just trying to nudge that through would be good and get that closed out for the Kubernetes website. Okay, onto etcd repository. And I just wanted to try and clean up some issues today, team. We've got a lot. So first one. Okay, this one I think we can close. The outcome from the investigation was it was a corrupt DB. Let me check. Is Benjamin on the call? Oh, okay, so let's just discuss during the SIG etcd triage meeting. Benjamin, can we close this now? Okay, let's see. So we've pinned that one. Next up, let's have a look. This is an interesting one. So goes back to one of our previous KubeCon sessions where we've had contra fests. If we have a look through, there was one that we wanted to tackle in that contra fest, but I'm not sure if we actually did. It looks like a documentation update, and I don't want it to go stale and get lost. So I just wanted to check if it actually ever got assigned out during that contra fest. We should have a tracking issue for the contra fest, and we can see if it was listed. Cool, here it is. So the issue is 16659. And I missed putting it in the table. Okay. So this one's actually my fault. It hasn't been done. Is there anyone that has a little bit of time to look into this documentation update? So it'll be a PR for the etcd website. We've got a bit of description in here on what's needed, and some input from a couple maintainers on where it needs to go into the documentation, so we know what page needs to be updated in. Does anyone have time to take a look at this one?
I can take them.
Cricket, if you can just leave a comment in this issue, I'll just put the link into the Zoom call. I'm happy to assign you.
Okay, I'll assign myself.
Oh, is that Suan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Video's
okay.
not on. Sorry.
Yeah, you can assign yourself, Suan. That's all good. Awesome, thank you. Or I can add you now. Cool. So it's just one that we this got missed at last contra fest. So it is still a valid issue. Okay, thanks, Yuan. That's awesome. Okay, so we've got a backport next to just check in on and maybe follow up on. Let's have a look. So we just need to check if this backport was actually completed or not. I think so. Ivan may have been working on this. Is Ivan on the call? No, not today. Okay, so let's just check in then. Oh, and the assignment didn't work, so it's, yeah, Ivan may have missed this. All right. Discussed during triage meeting. So the assignment above failed. Did you still want to work on this? I know Ivan has a lot on his plate, so if someone else wants to pick up this issue, the links in the Google Doc, please just have a read through. It's a backport back to 3.5 for a change that's already in main in 3.6. So feel free to comment on this if you did want to pick it up. Cool. Okay, so we followed up on that one. Okay. Okay, next up, we have a bug to decide if it's actually a bug. It's an older one. It's for gRPC proxy. Goes back to middle of last year. And if we have a read it through, there was a change that was reverted not that long ago, end of 2022. And I think what this means is they actually just need to, like the reporter just needs to change their approach a little bit. And instead open a new client before they initiate a watch. I might double check this one. So the original reversion was done by Benjamin. I might double check with Benjamin. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Okay, cool. We've followed up on that. All right, we have a flake we need to double check. So this was an interesting one, team. One of the jobs failed at the fuse step for LazyFS, sorry. But basically because the LazyFS install failed, because the apt installs earlier in the process failed, but it seems like it was because of an outage with GitHub Actions. The slightly interesting thing is that the apt install didn't cause the job to fail. It was the reliance on a package installed by apt later on. But either way, I think we could potentially close this. Can probably check with Merrick what he wants to do. So we know the failure is going to occur. It's just a little bit further down the stack than, or down the process than where it did actually occur. So in my mind, we probably should just close this because we know it's a GitHub Actions outage rather than anything on our side. Okay, we've checked in on that. Okay, next up, one to discuss. So we've got this suggestion. There's been a couple of issues talking about enabling some more integration for Slack. We have our SIG@CD Slack channel. And the question is, would it be helpful if there was some notifications going into that Slack channel or an additional SIG@CD Slack channel for events happening in Prow. So this is things like, folks creating issues, folks, creating PRs. I know, like personally, I would just kind of watch the repository in GitHub, and that gives me emails, whenever people do things. But it's a question team, so this is the triage call, and as part of triage, we're trying to respond to issues and PRs that are being raised. So for the folks on the call that are contributors, would it be helpful to have something like this in place?
Yeah, I think it would be useful. Like, I get a lot of emails sometimes that SED emails can be drowned in it, but if there's a Slack channel, I can
Yeah.
subscribe. That would be good.
Yeah, GitHub emails are certainly lossy, let's say. It's easy to miss stuff. So do you think, I'm just trying to think, like if we enabled it for, say, issues and PRs being created, maybe, would that be too spammy for the main Siget CD channel? I'm thinking,
Yeah, I mean, it
might,
doesn't have to be in the main SED channel. Like, it can just be
yeah,
a subscription-based handle. So anyone can subscribe to that notification.
any other thoughts on this team just before I update? And yeah, I do think separate channels probably a good idea. It just gives people a way to opt in or out to receiving these.
So it's not a channel. It's like a link that you can subscribe to, and then it will just send a notification to you. It's like a pops up.
Okay. So it's like an application that you can.
Yeah, in Slack there's some settings you can.
It would be
Right.
like,
Well, this.
sorry, like it will be like a private chat between like the bot and me, like the Slack bot or some GitHub bot like that.
Yeah, it's like you're talking to a Slack.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure that this issue is talking about the same thing this commenter is talking about, because it's talking about a Prow plugin, Slack events. Let's just have a quick look.
Yeah, I think this contributor is talking about like, yeah, these notifications are from Kubernetes, but they're not in a Slack channel per se. It's just a notification.
Okay, so we agreed this would be helpful. We need to clarify if we are talking about installing, enabling another Prow plugin for etcd, or if this is an alternative integration. Yeah, because Josh was talking about it. So are you saying these notifications are from Kubernetes communities but are available in a different Slack, as in not Kubernetes Slack?
So Josh last time he also talked about like some security issues. So there are some
Yeah.
issues with CNCF. So can we even do that?
Yeah, there was another issue where he was talking about that as well. So the answer is that we are not allowing the general GitHub plugin due to security concerns, so we do support Slack integration with Prow. Since it's a bit different, I'll open a new issue for it. Okay, so So we are talking about the Prow plugin. This will be helpful. However, we need to understand which aspects, which types of notifications we would want to receive. We did agree a separate, if this will be channel based, create a separate channel would be best, so everyone can opt in to receiving them. So we kind of need to dig into this Prow plugin team and actually understand what sort of events it can let us know about. There'll be some configuration for this in, maybe we just have a quick look, Kubernetes test infra. I'm guessing there'll be the plugin config. So if we look at config, Prow, plugins, and have a look at, let's just have a look for Slack. So there's a config for it here, and we could probably add the etcd repo here. So we have merge warnings. What else? Just merge warnings. Am I reading this right? Yeah, I'm not sure this is... Let's just put a comment in here. We need to follow up with this offline. I don't think we're going to be able to solve it right here. I think we need to review the configuration for the Slack plugin and understand the capabilities. Okay, cool. If anyone is interested in digging into Prow plugins, by all means, please have a look into how Kubernetes are using this Slack plugin, and what it can and can't do, and feel free to raise to leave a comment in here just with your research, your findings. That'd be really helpful. Okay, so we have documented next steps. Okay, second to last one. How are we going for time? We've got 4 minutes. Let's do it. So this one here, I think, is a pretty straightforward next step. So we've had this bug raised in terms of, I think, kind of the documentation and process for robustness. And essentially what this person has done is they've taken a fresh client of etcd apparently and tried to kick off a sample test of one of the particular robustness tests, and it hasn't worked. So if someone wanted to just try this out following the same process, I can see we've had someone comment. So let's assign them.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, staff. Please let us know if you can recreate this. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, once we know if we can kind of recreate that, we can figure out what's going to be needed to sort that out. Cool, that's assigned. And last one. I think this is another Contrafest issue. Yeah, it was. Okay, so we have an existing metric for server reply duration seconds. And we wanted to add a kind of a similar metric or like a companion metric for server range duration seconds. A previous contributor had a go at it. They created the metric, but they didn't create a test or anything. So they kind of did half of the job, and we can see that in the existing PR they raised. and it kind of looked pretty good. We just kind of needed to add a test as well. And they, instead of sort of asking for help, they just kind of closed it. So if someone wants to kind of dig into a little bit of etcd observability and kind of create a new PR to replace this old one that got closed, please let me know. And if you need help with the tests, then just let us know, and be nice to get this issue completed.
So I think it'd be helpful if we label this as a good first issue.
I agree. Yep. So let's remove stale. Jump back to the issue. Where is it? Here we go. So we'll take off contrib first. Put on good first issue. Help wanted. And get rid of stale. Area observability. Okay, cool. So discussed meeting. This would be a good candidate for a new contributor. The original PR, what was that? 16902. So we need to recreate this and add a test. Okay. Cool, thanks team. So there we are, exactly on on our fast. Does anyone have anything they would like to very, very quickly bring up related to triage? Otherwise, that is us for today. No, all good. Okay, so
Hi, everyone.
team, thanks for coming along, and yeah, I hope to see you at the next etcd meeting.
Thank you so much.